Earlier this year, I was attacked. And the one who got me was way smaller than me, but man, he was effective in delivering a blow from which it will be a long time before I reach recovery, if I ever do. I didn't get a picture of him, but I can show you basically what he looked like. Here he is. Well, to be a bit more accurate, that little guy, likely no bigger than 3 millimeters, didn't attack me. He attached himself to me. And when I said it'll be a while before I recover from it, if I ever do, that wasn't melodramatic hyperbole. When this tick started feeding off of me, he secreted a saliva into my bloodstream and introduced the alpha-gal molecule into my body. Now, my body recognized that this molecule was foreign, and it began producing antibodies to fight against it, namely IgE, or immunoglobulin E. Now, this type of antibody is particularly involved in allergic reactions. When the immune system mistakenly identifies a foreign substance, it produces this IgE antibody, and it's specific to that substance. And my level of this antibody is very high per a recent blood test. As a result, I have something called alpha-gal syndrome, and I'm now allergic to red meat and possibly other things I've yet to discover. I mean, think of all those things you're used to eating. Believe it or not, if I eat any of them and don't get treatment, I could potentially die due to anaphylaxis, which is a life-threatening allergic reaction. I know this because before I was tested, I ate a cheeseburger. And within a few hours, I experienced severe abdominal pain that was quickly followed by a breakout of hives across the entirety of my body. And soon after, my throat and airways began to swell. My wife rushed me to the emergency room, and basically upon entering, I had to catch myself as I nearly passed out. Thankfully, the emergency room staff acted quickly, and they set up this IV that delivered some cocktail of medicine straight into my bloodstream to fight this. After about 3 hours, I was good to go, and I convinced them to release me. Here's what I'm saying. You've probably been bit by ticks all your life. I have. And with no real issues resulting from those bites until now. I'd never heard of alpha-gal syndrome until the effects of that miniature assassin became evident after eating red meat. And while the results vary for people, for me, if I'm not careful, anaphylaxis could lead to death. I now have 2 EpiPens that I carry with me to at least give me time to get to the emergency room. Now, I'm not bringing this up or sharing my story to make you feel sorry for me. Instead, I want you to be informed in case you or a loved one, especially a child, is bitten by a tick. First, if a tick bite occurs, it may very well be harmless, but just in case, keep alpha-gal close in your memories so that it rushes forward to the front of your mind should it happen. Second, it may take a little while before an allergic reaction is experienced, so don't totally dismiss the possibility if nothing happens right away. It took a few weeks for me, and it could take as long as 3 months before it actually shows up. Third, when an allergic reaction does occur, it usually doesn't happen until some 2 to 3 hours after eating red meat or other things that may in fact cause an allergic reaction, such as dairy, for example. When I first experienced the reaction, it was just severe abdominal pain that, subsided after about 4 hours. I thought it was food poisoning, so I basically dismissed it. The second time I experienced an allergic reaction, the stomach pain hit, but it was followed by hives that lasted all night. But I was fine by the morning and, well, like most guys, I did not get tested. The third time I experienced an allergic reaction, I was in the emergency room. You see, each reaction became more and more severe for me. Now, the reactions and severity are different for different people, but since they occur hours after eating, you might not associate what's happening, with having eaten some bacon or a hamburger or a hot dog, and you might misdiagnose it. And that's why I'm giving this PSA, so you can consider it a possibility. Fourth, if you're not sure, take yourself or your loved one and get a blood test done. I mean, symptoms vary for people, for sure. But for me, it's now a deadly and sobering reality. And it could be that way for you too. So don't put testing off. Get tested. And fifth, while alpha-gal syndrome is not a nationally notifiable condition by the CDC, they do acknowledge that it is a real health concern that is growing. In fact, on February 10th of this year, 2025, Bill number HR 1179, called the Alpha-Gal Allergen Inclusion Act, was introduced by Representative Jeff Van Drew, and it was co-sponsored by a number of congressmen from various states. What it proposes to do is to add alpha-gal to the list of major food allergens, which would then require food labels to clearly identify its presence. And frankly, this would help people like me who have AGS by making it easier to identify and avoid problematic foods. Now, I do have some good news. If you experience alpha-gal syndrome, time may very well be on your side. See, as long as people with AGS can avoid further tick bites, because this can exacerbate the problem, many will experience a decrease in their alpha-gal IgE level. Some have even gone on to reintroduce mammalian meat into their diets, but it can take years and the results will vary from person to person, and unfortunately, it is possible this allergy will be present for the rest of your life. But there is some hope. So there you have it. This guy might be little, but he can pack quite a wallop that can knock you down and even knock you out. So please, take tick bites a bit more seriously, dress appropriately, and in the future, keep your new knowledge of alpha-gal in the forefront of your mind. And if this guy decides to introduce himself to you, be ready. Thanks for listening.